know, are you really ready for some super dynamite soul? Introducing the world's greatest entertainer, ladies and gentlemen, the star of the show,
King from Queens. What you gonna play now?
You figure 5 to 6 cars, that's about, you can go through 5 or 6 cars maybe thoroughly in about 15 minutes. You walk those 5 or 6 cars, checking every conductor booth. Now you have to worry that somebody could come out at you at any time, and what they're gonna try to do, they're gonna try to pinpoint you and crash you in between cars. DTs a lot of times hide underneath the seats when the motors are missing, but those days are gone. Nowadays, there's nowhere to hide underneath the seat. I don't care how small of a crackhead you are.
Yeah.
You're not gonna fit. So it's conductor booth to conductor booth. If somebody's not in the first conductor booth, you have a good shot that somebody's not gonna be in the second. You got a salt and pepper team. If you find one cop, there gotta be another one. And sometimes they come in 4s. When these real tag team guys, with the fucking Superman costumes on, really want to get the graffiti riders, sometimes they come in 6s.
Yep.
And if you get 3 teams of salt and pepper teams, 6 cats, that's when you really got to be worried. Because sometimes the brave ones, they hide up on top of the train and they wait to hear your footsteps coming through the train, and they jump down in between cars and they trap you in. I've been raided like that. Only high-powered riders, motherfuckers that bomb galore, ever got raided like that. These other sucker dudes that tell stories, they barely made it to the fucking train station. Well, I was doing whole fucking trains. These guys were out sucking dicks. But we'll get back to the real thing. So after you get like 5 or 6 cars and you go through every conductor booth, that place is good. So that is on the top of your motherfucking list. You went through the trains, you walked it, you go back to the place where you first started, you check out the station. If there's nobody there and that train left, that means it's getting later and less people are around. You could run back down that station, tell the guy at the conductor booth you forgot something. Oh God, what time is it? I'm supposed to meet my girlfriend. She didn't show up. Bang, you got an alibi. Straight down, 2 garbage bags on your back, dog. Just running into layer, Fuzz 1, carpet tags, Fuzz 1, Fuzz 1, Fuzz 1, Fuzz 1. Take them home in the fucking conductor booth, take out 2 white Pentels, Fuzz 1 crazy tags, the Ebony Dukes, get the Forest Green, Law 138, start doing the panels, CK7, giant pieces in between the doors, just tear that train apart, where it just says Fuzz 1. And from all the way down, you're smelling fucking Rusto, Krylon, Red Devil, the trees come out, bottle of Bacardi in the back pocket, shot with a little smoke coke, you're on fire. Then the train goes by again, come right out on between cars, Lord, 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 you just start hitting them. So your first common denominator, your layup is always gonna be the best thing. Because when it comes down to a tunnel, which we'll cover, which is the most shadiest shit out of all. That's why I saved that for last. A tunnel is the kind of place that anybody who wants to get sick and die and have dust in their throat and be all fucked up, if you gotta take them home, you finish the leak, you can just pull your pipe out, piss anywhere. The place smells like a fucking sewer anyway. So that is the hardest thing to cover. Because when you're down in the tunnel, the token clerk guy is usually sleeping because he's bored to death with his fucking job. He wants to commit suicide, so he's waiting for somebody to come, at least so you can talk to, you know. Even if it's a graffiti writer, you gotta bomb the whole place. I don't care. I'll watch you doing it. So certain layups have trains that run all the way through the layup, which trains are connected, you know, 10 cars.
Yep.
Sometimes separate, you know, different cars, if it's Viggies, if it's BMTs, if it's Ding Dong, if it's IRTs, or they just have the layup that comes maybe 10 to 15 feet outside the tunnel. On the other side, you can see passengers, you can see civilians, you can see DTs, bombs, decoys. It's all around you. So now, if that happens, you don't have no cover. The best thing that I found out to do of being a craftsman in the graph game, don't stay in the train station in the tunnel. If you go down to the tunnel and there's a whole bunch of fucking people there and everything, get on the fucking train, right? Take it one stop, get off that train, wait till the whole station is empty, then cross the tracks, get the fucking remaining train going back down to the tunnel. You can look inside the tunnel, but not making it so obvious, because when the cops are inside the tunnel and they're in the train, they're looking out the window, looking for little kids, looking out the window at them to see the train. So you can see each other's faces.
Yeah.
And I've done that thousands of times. I've been in tunnels where I see kids clocking the tunnel through the window, and I also see cops. But the cops usually stay at the back of the train.
Yeah.
The door is open. They see somebody, if they have enough balls, some Batman and Robin type shit, those motherfuckers will catapult right out into the piss and rocks and shit and broken bottles. But there's very far and few guys like that. Only a couple. I won't mention their names because I don't want to give them too much props. Might go to their head. They're dead anyway. But they were some of the baddest DT cops that ever lived. But anyway, so that's the rule. So now when you get down finally to the remaining part of the station, there's only one car there. If the cops are in the tunnel, they'll either be right in that car, because they know when you come in, you're not gonna stand in the middle of a fucking train station tunnel and go in through your first door and be with a porthole door, old number 4 train or whatever, or a 6 or a 2 or a 5 or a 1. Because if the cop is right there standing on the seat and the other one's in the conductor booth, you are fucking mashed. Yeah. They're taking your whole shit out. So the best thing you could do, run down into the tunnel and go down 2 or 3 cars. Work your way up to the front, then, you know. And a toy who talks shit is a guy that can get in the fucking subway tunnel at Espad at 3 in the morning and walk the whole fucking strip by himself, like fucking attic of prison, the fucking hallway. Instead of out bullshitting, telling people I was over here, I did this, nobody ever saw your niggas. And I don't know a guy that ever went to fucking Espad and walked through the whole fucking thing by himself, but I did it hundreds of times. So that makes a real writer. So 9 times out of 10, Espad was hot as a motherfucker. Everybody and their grandmother went there. Dogs went there, pigeons, people's grandfathers, old kids, every common denominator, every kind of color, every fucking Hindus went down there bombing. And you had dope fiends down there. Motherfuckers used to sniff flu. Alcoholics. You had the Guardian Angels, the fucking Magnificent 13. The dudes that fucking hated writers. White boys from the neighborhood that would stomp people out. This is all true shit. So here's a place you're going, you could get fucking murdered at this place. Why would you even go there? And now you gotta walk through the whole train, which is like, come on now, man. You know, we're talking about train after train. Like I told you, connected. And a lot of times when cars are like not married cars, and they're married couples, what the police would do would leave the whole set open. That you would think, oh my God, there's nobody here. And then there would be a not married car that I would just call with a flat face front. Yep. That was always right, CK7 City Crew or Fuzz one on the door. I would blast that shit because I know that if those motherfuckers were anywhere except underneath the train or on top of the tunnel, and a lot of layups, I guess, you know, it was hard for you to be on top of you couldn't run on top of the tunnel. You could lay, but you would just, your fucking head would get cut off. It was dangerous. That place was crazy. So you put that key in the door, close it, and you could hear that sound, man, roaming through the whole yards, you know. I've heard a lot of fucking stories. I read a lot of magazines about guys that tell stories about shit. Look, in Espad, you could hear a fucking pin drop. If a crackhead coughed, you know about it. You'd be like, yo, we gotta fucking move. Somebody's in here. It could be this, it could be them, it could be whoever. So when you got into that unmarried car that Espad always had, there was no cops in there. 9 times out of 10, you could probably make it all the way to the end. Now, if you did that, and your car was right outside, or, you know, you did a sandbox and me thing, you came with your paint, because, you know, Espad was the kind of place, if you could stay in there for a good 4 or 5 hours. I heard stories about guys staying in there for 2 days and think that's fucking impossible. That place is a fucking police station. If you could stay in there for 4 or 5 hours, you could really get your wreck off, but you knew that after that 5 hours were over, you had to go.